Modern Slavery Textile by Karen Colville, Canadian artist. Modern slavery is the severe exploitation of other people for personal or commercial gain. Textile by Karen Colville, Canadian artist. Modern slavery is the severe exploitation of other people for personal or commercial gain. Modern slavery is all around us, but often just out of sight. People can become entrapped making our clothes, serving our food, picking our crops, working in factories, or working in houses as cooks, cleaners, or nannies. Many have fallen into this oppressive trap simply because they were trying to escape poverty or insecurity. The textile is hand-sewn with different types of fibers, industrial hemp hand-spun on a spinning wheel to represent past slavery and modern day. Fast fashion retail industry has seen some controversies this year in relation to modern slavery practices, particularly in relation to their supply chains. Managing modern slavery risks in the age of COVID-19 and beyond. There is also online slavery, where people do freelance work and are paid very little online. Any known or suspected breach of our ethical standards, including slavery, human trafficking, forced or child labor, as well as wider human rights related issues in accordance with the procedure set out in the policy. Ultimately, addressing modern slavery, like any other human rights abuses, is not just a single sector issue, nor is it a problem for only one part of the world to solve. It's a collective challenge that requires coordinated leadership. Updating our human rights policy and procedures to reflect our completed risks assessments, update and monitor progress on implementation of human rights policy and third-party vendor policy into our supplier management systems and processes, and measures we have taken to improve our expertise in the area of modern slavery and human rights, and how human rights that expertise to inform our business human rights program. Countries with strong political will, high levels of resources, and a strong civil society that holds governments to account are taking the strongest action. For instance, the UK and US governments require companies to annually report on their supply chain and ensure that it is risk-free from modern slavery. Others, such as Australia, are facing increasing pressure from human rights organizations and trade unions to tighten anti-slavery laws in a bid to crack down on forced labor goods from entering the supply chain. In January 2021, the UK government released additional measures, toughening the response towards modern slavery and preventing goods linked to forced labor from entering the UK supply chain. Currently, the UK imports £3.7 billion worth of textiles and apparel from China, some of which are products of forced labor from Xinjiang province. The UK will now review export controls in order to prevent goods potentially contributing, either directly or indirectly, to alleged human rights abuses in Xinjiang. This review will determine specific items that will become subject to controls in the future. Other countries have also taken action against modern slavery. For example, Canada has issued a ban on goods suspected to have been imported from the Xinjiang province. The US government has announced a ban on imports containing any cotton or tomato products originating from Xinjiang, and has also adopted a bill imposing various restrictions related to the province, including the prohibition of several imported commodities originating in that region, in a bid to impose sanctions on human rights violations. Australia introduced its Modern Slavery Act 2018, requiring Australian companies to report on the risks of modern slavery in their operations and supply chains under federal legislation. Modern-day slavery that includes human trafficking and exploit of labor will become better towards in all aspects of society. Karen Colville, Canadian artist. Modern Slavery Textile by Karen Colville, Canadian artist. Modern slavery.